edition of the CFL Battle of Alberta in 2013. Tonight from Commonwealth Stadium, the Calgary Stampeders resume hostilities with the Edmonton Eskimos under the Friday night lights.
For the Calgary Stampeders, John Cornish is on a roll. Last 3 games, 452 yards rushing. He can still get to that magic 2,000-yard mark. Standing in his way is middle linebacker Rennie Kern for the Edmonton Eskimos. Last week's defensive player in the Canadian Football League with an 11-tackle performance against the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
64 is coming in the game.
It's the final home game for Cavis Reed's Edmonton Eskimos this year. They're looking for only their 2nd win at Commonwealth and the first against a Western opponent in 2013. And there's John Hufnagel, whose Stampeders have won 7 straight against Edmonton. In fact, they've won 6 in a row here in the Edmonton Eskimo backyard. And a win tonight would clinch at least a home playoff spot for Calgary once again in 2013.
Battle of Alberta's been lopsided, but it's still a battle.
37-34, Calgary prevailed on Labor Day. In the rematch, it was 22-12 for the Stampeders. Larry Taylor back in the Stamps lineup. Grant Shaw has it on the tee, and we're set to kick off here in Edmonton. And the CFL's Pink campaign to help tackle women's cancers as well. It's Larry Taylor from the 17-yard line. And up to the 35, where Kevin Glenn will lead the Stamps out. Our starters to watch brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard.
John Cornish needs 152 yards per game over the last 3 to get to that magic 2,000 mark. Kevin Glenn can pass Tom Clements, get in the top 10 tonight. Should in the first couple of throws here. And can he be the Rookie of the Year out of the West Division? Brett Jones of Regina. Been an all-star all season long.
22-year-old center over the football. Shotgun snap to Kevin Glenn. And he'll throw underneath. And Maurice Price, the speedster, gets a first down. He scorched the Eskimos with 165 yards and 3 touchdowns on Labor Day.
Well, you know the focus for the Edmonton defense is going to be on number 9, John Cornish, and that's where their linebackers come in. Rennie Kern, who I mentioned off the top, and Tomaso Munoz, who with TJ Hill leads the team in tackles. Now, if they do throw the ball, Calgary Stampeders, that's where Marcus Howard comes in. He's put together a good campaign, has 6 sacks over his last 8 games.
Eric Samuels is on the corner, but do expect to see Aaron Grimes. And here goes John Cornish. And the first run is across midfield. It's a first down run. He had 3 of over 18 yards last week. And Cornish off and running early here in Edmonton with a 16-yard gallop.
Yeah, and you know that the focus is going to be on trying to stop John Cornish, and he gets a nice hole off the left side of that offensive line to get things started. His first run of the night. Loves to play on Friday nights, loves to play against Edmonton.
He'll line up as a wideout, and they look in his direction, and the pass over his head. There was Tomaso Munoz coming over in coverage for the Eskimos. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I can get into that top 10, and you know, I think you look back on Kevin Glenn's career, he has now earned the starting spot in Calgary, and for most of the season, John Hufnagel has talked about there's a hierarchy. Well, that changed because Kevin Glenn's performance. He can go into the top 10 and pass Tom Clements tonight.
Second and 10. Cornish flares into the backfield, but inside it goes to Marquay McDaniel, and he'll be stopped short of the first down. Rennie Kern, Munoz there again, and the opening drive for Calgary stalls at the Eskimo 45-yard line.
Rennie Kern's pumped up. I saw a lot of his quotes in both the Calgary and Edmonton newspapers, and he just beats the blocks on this screenplay to Marquay McDaniel. He's going to be spying Cornish the whole night. Cornish vacated, was covered by one of the defensive backs, so Kern was able to play that screen.
Special team player of the week, Rob Maver in the punt. 45.6 was the net for Maver last week. He hit the corner last week, and he has done it here early tonight. Rob Maver with a perfect boot, 12th time inside the 10 this year. Mike Riley in a hole to start for the Eskimos here on Friday night in Edmonton. Life miserable for the Stampeders tonight, but Rob Maver has kind of reversed the tables here. And the Eskimos have a deep start at their own 3-yard line after a 42-yard kick into the corner by Rob Maver. And they show blitz right away. They hand off to John White. Nice stutter step, and another kicks it outside. And that'll give them some room, and he makes another extra yard or two, and a good 12-yard run for Utah John White.
Well, it's been a tough year for the Edmonton Eskimos, but they have some players that they know now that they can count on, and then one of their starting quarterback, Mike Riley, who is 3rd in the league in passing yards, and looks like they found their franchise quarterback. They also have the leading receiver in the Canadian Football League, and Shamon Chambers has taken another step in the progression in his career.
2nd and 1, and Mike Riley 6th in the league in rushing runs for the first down.
That offense up against a pretty good group up front for the Calgary Stampeders, led by Charleston Hughes. No Cordero Law tonight. Sean Lemon draws back into the lineup, will play for the defensive end who did not practice all week long. Darius Brooks moves back to halfback for Jamal Wall.
How about Sean Lemon? 16 tackles, 2 sacks in the first 4 games, and he couldn't work his way back in the lineup. So first down. Riley will roll. Looks downfield. He's got a Darius Bowman. And a first down catch by Bowman, working against Darius Brooks.
Well, already success for Edmonton, because where they started this drive, they now, at worst case scenario, have room to get some field position back, and even if they had to punt it away. So you sort of measure it in baby steps when you're backed up like that in the shadow of your goalpost. It's a nice throw and catch.
15 for Bowman and a first down at the 29-yard line. And a handoff inside. Well, jump cut, but this time they can't find any running room for John White, and it'll be 2nd and long.
Well, you know, if you watch the coach's playbook in the pregame show, you saw a little bit of how the ride and decide, how the zone read play works, and we'll show you a little bit of how Calgary is going to defend against it. This time they left Juwan Simpson in to slide to the running back.
2nd and 9. Here comes pressure. Riley to the wide side of the field. And is it catch? They're ruling incomplete. It would have been short of the first down. Matt Carter, the intended target. After a couple of first downs, the Eskimos offense has to leave the field.
And that's what I meant, though, with Mike Riley, that when you're a defensive player, you come to the bench, and all you hope for in this scenario, I believe, especially early in the game, is for your quarterback to get you a little breathing room, punt it away so you can come on the field and have a chance. That drive started inside the 5-yard line for Edmonton. They can now kick it.
Here's Grant Shaw. Again, Larry Taylor back in the lineup, returning after a big week by Clifton Smith. And Taylor trying to get outside, and he gets cut down by Calvin McCarty. Good special team tackle. Will drop him at the 40. Kevin Glenn in pursuit of Tom Clements and the top 10 all time when we return to Edmonton.
Shop at Safeway and play Safeway $1 Million Touchdown to win. You could win $1 million if 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns during the same game. You could also win a Troy-built powerful single-stage snow thrower with electric start and remote shoot control. Troy-built for life. Or a Universal Music CD prize pack, including John Fogerty's new album, Wrote a Song for Everyone, featuring 16 special guests. Shop and play at Safeway.
There will be more powerful storms. That's why there's a new Duracell battery. Duracell Quantum. With its high-density core, it's a quantum leap in battery power. So we're giving $1 million to first responders everywhere. Duracell. Trusted everywhere.
Still at the office? Man, you need a vacay. Don't have to go far for fun. Ride a dune buggy or scuba diving. Pow! I make it easy. You make it fun. So many super destinations, such low rates.
Now, Steve's looking pretty good so far.
Hey, hold on, Brent. What's this?
Well, that's the new Nissan.
There's no doubt that's definitely going to throw him off.
She's seen it too. Oh, this could be trouble.
Oh, man.
Got to think fast, Herbie. Backpedal, backpedal.
Oh, he's down in flames, and now the ice-cold shoulder.
One last blade. No, game over.
GPS, take him to the doghouse.
Make a powerful first impression. The completely redesigned Nissan Sentra.
CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. So no points on the opening possessions for either team. And Calgary gets set to scrimmage at their own 41-yard line. Well, Kevin Glenn making no secret that excited about the possibilities of entering the top 10 all time. Getting into rarefied air, 13 yards away from passing Tom Clements. Instead, it's Cornish, and he gets stacked up at the line of scrimmage and pushed back, and Ted Laurent with a little attitude to let Cornish know it's going to be tougher tonight.
Well, it starts up front. The Edmonton defensive line is going to have to commit to stopping the run, and it's certainly the ends have got to be involved when you talk about Odell Willis and Marcus Howard. Yes, they love the glory sack, which is or stat, which is the sacks, but they've got to get their nose dirty if they're going to stop Cornish tonight.
2nd and 10, flag down, and some pre-snap movement.
What I mean by that, Chris, is that, you know, you talk about those defensive ends.
Procedure. Calgary, number 50. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Spencer Wilson, the right tackle, moved prematurely.
You know, we talked about Rennie Curran and how important the middle linebacker is, but it's important for the defensive line as well. And defensive ends love that stat, the big sacks. They get their name in the paper. Not so much when they get 4 tackles in the run game. But you got to commit to it as a front 7, top to bottom, especially when you're facing the best, arguably the best in the league, in John Cornish.
Passing situation here. They pin their ears back. Glenn will step up. He's got Sinopoli open, and Sinopoli gets crunched. Doesn't want to go down, but now is being tackled short of the first down, and they'll spot him at the 43. So Glenn and the offense leaves the field.
Perfect technique for Edmonton in this tackle on Brad Sinopoli because they take it inside out. Sometimes you see that 2 defenders will take one side and allow a receiver to slip back inside, but one comes from inside out. That was Chris Thompson, and from the outside in, Eric Samuels just squeezes Brad Sinopoli, doesn't allow him any room.
Jamal Miles on the return, and he'll bubble back and try to get outside. And Miles, who has looked good in the last couple of weeks, up to the 30. Justin Phillips with the tackle. Mike Riley hits the field. We'll have a report on him from Ryan Rashad when we come back. Mike Riley, but the numbers not as good since suffering a concussion against the Toronto Argonauts a couple of weeks ago. With more on Riley's comeback, here's Ryan Rashad.
Yeah, Chris, I spoke to Mike Riley about that concussion yesterday, and he said this is the first week he truly feels free and clear of any and all symptoms to do with that concussion. Not necessarily fogginess or actually feeling concussion symptoms, but just rustiness in his game, hesitation in his game. He said now that is all come and gone, and he is fully 100%. Says he will not play with self-preservation in mind at all in these last 3 games, Chris.
Well, we saw indications of that last week running the football. Pass intended for Chambers, incomplete, but he ran for 45 yards last week against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and you got to admire.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, absolutely love it. I mean, and he has taken a beating this year. has got up and brushed himself off every time, and you know the teammates around him respect that in a big, big way.
Now, the report from Ryan does raise some questions about whether he should have played the last couple of weeks. Here's a pass deflected and intercepted. Eric Fraser's got the interception. And now Fraser cut down at the 40-yard line in Edmonton territory. So it's the 16th interception of the season tossed by Riley. And Fraser with his second off the tip.
Well, you know, when it's a tip ball, it usually doesn't go to the quarterback. I mean, usually you take a look at the receiver, although when you take a look at this throw, pretty good coverage on Darius Bowman across the middle by Keon Raymond.
Check out the penalty as Hal Bradbury and his crew confer. 2 picks tossed in each of his last 2 starts.
After the play, unnecessary roughness. Calgary, number 8. 15 yards from the end of the play, first down.
So major foul against Fred Bennett will take it back close to midfield.
Get back to Vancouver, Dad, love you. Hey, good. That's it.
But a pick by the safety. Eric Fraser gives the ball back to the Stampeders. Calgary now plus 19, leading the league in giveaway takeaway this year. Glenn throws the hitch and Maurice Price drops the football. He's 2nd and 10 Calgary.
Tried to run before he had it.
Would have been his 50th catch of the year. Bryce started the night 300 yards short of 1,000 in an injury-plagued year, so the number's impressive, and 1,000 would be impressive for a couple of reasons. It's always an important milestone, but it's a bonus time for Mo Price. More money.
See Dave Dickinson's facial expression, not exactly happy with the start of his offense, I don't think.
2nd and 10, pressure on, and Glenn will take off, and he'll get dropped short of the first down. The tackle made by Munoz, and it will be about 2 yards short of a Calgary first down. We did watch Rene Paredes in the warm-up hitting consistently from outside 50, and let's see what John Hufnagel's decided to do.
Yeah, he took a second there to think about this. Now, Rob Maver's been awesome in these corner kicks, putting it inside the 5. John Hufnagel has decided to continue to win that field position battle. Now he needs execution out of his punter one more time. Edmonton Eskimos hoping this ball goes in the end zone. They can give up a single and get some field position back.
You don't always or often see the punter as the special team player of the week, but Rob Maver earned it last week, and he's off to a pretty good start here. That one will be spotted right at the 10-yard line, so he gets the job done again. Leading receiver in the Canadian Football League is Fred Stamps. He'll go to work when we come back to Commonwealth on Friday Night Football.
Now, Steve's looking pretty good so far.
Hey, hold on, Brent. What's this?
Well, that's the new Nissan.
There's no doubt that's definitely going to throw him off.
She's seen it too. Oh, this could be trouble.
Oh, man.
Got to think fast, Herbie. Backpedal, backpedal.
Oh, he's down in flames, and now the ice-cold shoulder.
One last play. No, game over.
GPS, take him to the doghouse.
Make a powerful first impression. The completely redesigned Nissan Sentra.
Hi, my name is Rowan. I lost my leg in a Walmart accident. Now I tell kids to play safe. Yeah! My favorite thing is football and horses. Every game you play safe. A message from the War Amps.
CFL Pink Wings continue tomorrow. Doubleheader action. First up, Argos in Winnipeg to take on the Bombers, followed by a big one between the Lions and the Rough Riders. The CFL helping tackle women's cancers. It all gets underway 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on TSN. No score here. Just over 9 minutes in. Eskimos without a point in the first quarter against Calgary this season. Hand off inside, Hugh Charles now at the running back spot, and he lunges up across the 15-yard line.
You know, there was some discussion as to whether or not Mike Riley should even be playing at this point in the season, and maybe taking a look at Jonathan Crompton or letting Kerry Joseph play a little bit. And I think you'd need a crowbar to pull Mike Riley off of this roster. On that last play, he threw a block for Hugh Charles. I mean, this guy wants to play and lead this football team.
Pretty open about the dire situation here. He says, I'm playing for jobs, people's jobs. My own, my teammates, coaching staff. An incompletion and a 2-and-out. You know, that series.
That's true, Chris. But you know, you could say that really about every game. And if you're a 12-win team, you're still always playing for your job. And you know, I think Mike Riley, and Walter out of the lineup. That's why he played to back up John Cornish at tailback. So Larry Taylor was a healthy scratch. Watched from the sideline, cheered his teammate on.
Let's go.
But nothing like competition to push a guy.
So Kevin Glenn starts at the Eskimo 36, and he's 6 yards short to Tom Clements, and this will do it. John Cornish out of the backfield, and Cornish will have the first down. More than 10, and that puts Kevin Glenn into the top 10 all time.
Well, and he is passing to get there. A very good football player in Tom Clements, a guy I played against, a guy who right now is the offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers and working with Aaron Rodgers. Tom and Kevin Glenn just passed him.
Tom Clements, 12 years in the league, from 75 to 87, Ottawa, Hamilton, Winnipeg, former MOP and Grey Cup MVP. And Cornish stocked up quickly, and a flag flies on the play. And Kevin Glenn over to talk to newcomer Jeff Fuller, making sure that assignment is straightened out.
Procedure, illegal formation, cow down. That penalty is declined, second down.
And we presume that had something to do with that discussion between Glenn and the newcomer, Jeff Fuller.
Out of Texas A&M, he's playing for Joe West, but here is Kevin Glenn in the top 10. Passing Tom Clements, next on the list for him, Tracy Ham.
We mentioned Tracy Ham was next, and his reaction was, wow. Second and long, underneath it goes, and Jabari Arthur the catch. But he'll be stopped short of the first down at the 20.
Well, he's 8-2 this year, and throughout most of this season, John Hufnagel has said that he has a quarterback hierarchy, and it started with Drew Tate as number 1, Kevin Glenn 2, Bo Levi Mitchell as 3. Kevin Glenn has changed his mind. with an 8-2 record. His 11th start this season, his 152nd start, and maybe Kevin Glenn will start to get some of the respect that he deserves.
Just under 94% for Rennie Paredes on the year, and should be over that now as he hits for the 46th time in 49 attempts. 27-yard field goal for Paredes gets Calgary on the board with just over 3 minutes left in the opening quarter. So Kevin Glenn ahead of Tom Clements, and we asked him yesterday what that would mean.
It means a lot. You know, I never played against the guy, but I've seen some film, and I know he was a hell of a quarterback. You know, so to pass a guy like Tom is, it says a lot. You know, and just to make it and get into that same, you know, category and talk with those guys, it's a blessing.
In good company for sure. Here's Hugh Charles. He's forced back inside and at the 38-yard line, about 3 for Charles.
John Hufnagel has not really said it out loud, but by all his actions, by the fact that he has healthy quarterbacks now, Kevin Glenn has earned the starting job, and it looks like it'll be his team down the stretch and into the playoffs. And he may have just, well, I know he has throughout this year and last year. He has earned the respect that he's deserved for some time and really not got it.
Pre-snap movement. In fact, just about everybody moved, but the center tonight, Brian Ramsey, who takes the spot of the injured Alex Krosnick.
Procedure. Edmonton, the line. Repeat second down.
It was almost unanimous. The line was moving pre-snap. Krosnick injured in practice this week. A knee injury has him sidelined. So the veteran Ramsey moves inside. Gord Hines is his backup. And it's 2nd and 12. Some time for Riley, and he misses Darius Bowman at midfield.
You were talking about the O-line, Chris. I was going to say I'm watching Matt O'Donnell because he's going to face Charleston Hughes most of the night, and this is the pressure that Mike Riley got. Here he is right here, and there is Matt O'Donnell going one-on-one at right tackle. Tries to hug him inside, and then he does that spin move, keeps fighting right into the chest of Mike Riley. He's got to have a big game tonight.
Sluggish start for the Eskimos offense, and Mike Riley, who's 1 for 6, and an interception out of the gate. Larry Taylor's been dangerous early tonight. Back with Markway McDaniel. And here comes pressure. Shaw gets it away quickly. Taylor back at his 28-yard line. Flag flies, and he's forced out after a short gain with 1:33 on the clock here in this first quarter. 50-yard boot by Shaw.
You saw that strange kind of look from offensive coordinator Dave Dickinson a moment ago about his offense. I think he a little frustrated with the way the Calgary offense has started this football game. John Cornish just has 17 yards rushing so far in this first quarter. Rennie Curran, through his quotes throughout the week, was taking it real personal that he wanted to try and contain number 9 with the way he's played over the last 3 games. He's had a tackle tonight, not on Cornish.
Illegal participation, Calgary, number 32. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So Darius Brooks left the field of play, came back in, and that's a penalty. And it spots the ball at the Calgary 17, but you wonder, they've been rolling along, 3 wins in a row, 12-3 on the year. 9 games ahead of Edmonton. Would they be at their best tonight? And it's been a slow start. Slant pattern and a completion of Maurice Price. 50th catch of the year for Mo Price.
Little hurry up to maybe get this offense into a rhythm for Kevin Glenn. Now will call the plays on the line of scrimmage.
Second and inches. And they will hand it to Cornish. He's got the first down, and Rennie Curran's got John Cornish, but Cornish up to the 35-yard line.
Example of how strong he is. Rennie Curran has put together quite well. I mean, this is a guy that knows his way around the gym. And he just tried to take on John Cornish basically one-on-one, head-to-head, and Cornish took him for a bit of a ride, 3-4 yards.
Clock winding down in this first quarter. First down, and there's the newcomer, Fuller, incomplete. Jeff Fuller out of Texas A&M, where he has most of the receiving records, and a guy that Kevin Glenn compared to an old receiver of his back in his Winnipeg days, Derek Armstrong.
Yeah, high praise. Big target. 6'4", 223. Was supposed to be a high-round draft pick in the National Football League. It didn't work out for whatever reason. Was a walk-on free agent signing with the Miami Dolphins. That was his last team.
2nd and 10, here comes the rush. Willis got to the quarterback, and Glenn's pass falls incomplete. Just fortunate to get that away. Good pressure off the edge by Odell Willis on the final play of this opening quarter.
It's Friday night football, yeah! Boys are out here gonna rock the show.
Defense dictating things in the opening 15 minutes.
Sluggish start for the Calgary Stampeders. Congratulations to Kevin Glenn moving into the top 10 and just 26 yards. A quiet 26 yards for John Cornish is on pace for 100.
Our ties aren't as quiet tonight. We're wearing pink in support of the CFL Pink campaign, which has become an annual fixture. And I know you've done some research on this, making progress in the fight against women's cancers.
Absolutely. You know, I looked up on the Canadian Cancer Society's website, and the numbers are truly staggering when you think about 1 in 9 women, basically 65 women a day will be diagnosed with some form of breast cancer. They estimate about 23,800 women this year. And, you know, I'm talking to the CFL guys out there, football fans. These are our girls, mothers, grandmothers, sisters, sometimes daughters. So we're trying to create awareness with the pink. But if you can make a donation in one of the stadiums across the country, do it. The good news is the research is getting close. As I read on in the Canadian Cancer Society in their website, they're saying that upwards of 88%, 90% now of the women that are diagnosed are surviving it. So there's good news, and the research is getting there, and we're chipping away. So keep it up.
Eskimos will start at their 27, 1st and 10. And here comes the heat on Riley again, and they've got him in the grasp and taken down. Looks like Glenn Love will get credit for the sack. He had first contact on Riley, a reserve linebacker.
One of the guys that's been touched personally by this has been offensive coordinator Doug Sams, whose wife Brenda is battling Hodgkin's lymphoma right now. His mother, Glenna Sams, also battling breast cancer. And a special hello to Brenda. Keep up the battle. Your CFL family is with you.
Brenda watching in Stony Creek tonight. Mike Riley on a roll, 2nd and 19. Downfield, Stamps is open. Cuts back, and he'll finally get wrestled down by Fred Bennett. Biggest play of the game so far as the leading receiver of the Canadian Football League. And Mike Riley hook up, and it's a 49-yard gain.
Great call by offensive coordinator Doug Sams. Get Mike Riley out there and get it to the leading receiver in the Canadian Football League. Running hard on that corner route. Gets good leverage outside on the safety, Eric Fraser. Comes up with a big play to flop the field and get Edmonton out of a hole.
More yards on that play than in either game against Calgary, Labor Day and the Labor Day rematch for Fred Stamps, and more yards than he had last week in the game against Saskatchewan. Pressure on Riley again, gets it away, and Chambers made the catch. Well, he fielded the tip after it looked like that was broken up. Short gain, but it is a 3-yard pickup for Shamad Chambers.
You know, he battled that a little bit, but Shamad Chambers has been on a roll in the last 4 games, and I mentioned off the top, he's a guy that I want to watch because the Edmonton Eskimos, as they move forward to next year and they try to evaluate people going into the end of this season, they need a Canadian receiver to step up. I think Shamad Chambers can be that guy.
That one bounced off Brandon Smith back into the hands of the Eskimo receiver. 2nd and 7. And from the pocket, flag flies. The pass pulled down along the sidelines. Going to rule incomplete, but let's check the flag. And was it late contact on Riley?
DeMonte Bolden is in there talking with the officials as if he's trying to plead his case. But it looks like they're giving Calgary the options, which means it's against Edmonton.
Edmonton, number 68. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
So it's Thaddeus Coleman, the left tackle, called on the hold, and it'll be 3rd down. And Grant Shaw will come out. And will they try a 47-yard field goal? Shaw handling all the kicking duties tonight. It will be a field goal attempt of 47 for Shaw, who's 16 of 20 on the year. Lost his job temporarily to Hugh O'Neill, has got it back, and last week hit from 47 and 50. And this one is up and through. So Shaw's dialed in. The Eskimos have tied it. Just over 3 minutes into the 2nd quarter. John Cornish gets set to go back to work when we return on Friday Night Football. To the lineup, Jeff Fuller replacing the injured Joe West, getting his chance tonight. I know Jermaine Franklin in our pregame show talked about depth, and it's just next guy up seems to, in Calgary, always be a dangerous force. He certainly has the pedigree to be a guy to watch for tonight.
Yes, he does. His dad, Jeff Sr., played for the San Francisco 49ers between 84 and 89. Free safety.
Stamps opted for the return, and Larry Taylor will get stopped short of the 35-yard line. And a little slow to get up.
Mentioned that was a quiet 26 yards for John Cornish in the 1st quarter. Puts him on pace for 100. Doesn't look like he's really breaking out, but that's the Calgary Stampeder top 5, and can catch Willie Burden this year if he can finish strong in these last 3 games.
He's also 102 yards short of 5,000, which would make him the active rushing leader in the CFL. Currently, that's held by Henry Burris, and I know Cornish mentioned yesterday that the running back's anxious to take that distinction away from a quarterback, and John Cornish chewing up some yards off the right side there to pad his stats. 20-yard run.
Well, there he goes. I mean, this is something you got to do every play if you're going to try and contain him. It's not just a quarter here or there, because he'll show you that speed to the outside on this one. Just outruns contained for the Edmonton Eskimos, and now even middle linebacker Rennie Curran's got a lot of ground just to catch up to him.
Greg Marshall mentioned yesterday they made Corey Sheets work for his 100 last week. 106 on 24 carries. Glenn flush from the pocket, downfield, and the catch made by Fuller, so there's his first in the CFL.
Ronnie Lott, who was one of the guys that I watched at free safety, said of his father he's one of the toughest free safeties to ever play. Now, his career was cut short due to a back injury. But Jeff Fuller, big target. A lot of people want to see how he plays. And Calgary Stampeders, it looks like they found another one. It's a nice catch on the sideline.
Excuse me, did a good job to get a foot down and a 25-yard reception for the newcomer. First down, back in the hands of Cornish, who kicks it outside, and now down to the 29. 5 more for Cornish. 185 and 180-yard rushing games last year against the Eskimos.
Del Willis trying to be part of this run stopping for the Edmonton Eskimos that have struggled against the run. He just gets so far inside, he's easy to block and watch in. Now the linebackers are in chase mode to try and catch up to John Cornish. So I mentioned the ends have got to get their nose dirty.
2nd and 5, fake to Cornish, over the top, and it's Markway McDaniel. And Donovan Alexander, does he force him out? No, it's a touchdown, Calgary. 8th touchdown of the year for Markway McDaniel.
Little straight arm to get the extra yard he needed, but looks like that ball did go inside the cone as he was getting pushed out.
That will be reviewed, but looks like it's clearly a Stampeder touchdown.
Nice. Yeah. I picked up on my fence.
In pursuit of his first 1,000-yard season, and that's a 29-yard touchdown grab for Markway McDaniel, leading Calgary receiver this year. Extra point from Rennie Paredes, and Kevin Glenn has his 17th touchdown pass of the season. Calgary leads by 7.
You're playing against the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League. All eyes are on him all the time. Watch the play action fake on the touchdown throw to John Cornish and what it does to Namaso Munoz. He drags his feet, doesn't get any depth in his pass coverage. He's waiting for Cornish, steps up to Cornish, and the ball is thrown right over his head to Markway McDaniel.
4 plays, 78 yards, and McDaniel caps it with that 29-yard touchdown, 10-3 Calgary. Here's Miles on the kick return, and does a good job of working his way across the 35-yard line. 26 on the return.
Kevin Glenn just using that play action to draw the linebackers up, dumps it over the top to Markway McDaniel, a guy that you got to cheer for. A guy's been so consistent throughout the year to get to that 1,000-yard mark for the first time in his career. Should get it done this year.
Eskimos didn't allow a point in the second half last week in Saskatchewan. Beat for a touchdown there, and they're down by 7 as John White darts over the 40, 41-yard line. Jawan Simpson, Eric Fraser on the stop.
There is still the leading rusher for the Edmonton Eskimos. It's not John White or Hugh Charles. It's actually their quarterback, Mike Riley. So as they look to evaluate the rest of the season, that's got to be top of their list.
2nd and 5. Pocket collapsing again. Riley trying to take off, and he'll get dropped around the line of scrimmage. Charleston Hughes is there. We'll see if that is registered as a sack. Looks like it is. And if it is, it's number 50 for Charleston Hughes in his CFL career.
Stand-up position. He's got Jawan Simpson with him. Again, there's the matchup on Matt O'Donnell, who's having problems with him early in this game. Looks like he should get credit for that sack. 14 on the season, 50 in his career, as you mentioned.
Taylor at the 23, and Samuels down in a hurry. Great cover by Eric Samuels. But Charleston Hughes and the Stampeders celebrating another Hughes sack. Number 14 on the year. Oh, we mentioned Brett Jones has had a Rookie of the Year type season with more. Let's check back in with Ryan Rashog.
Yes, Chris, definitely one of the bright spots on the Calgary offensive line. I spoke with Dave Dickinson about Jones before this game, and he paid him a huge compliment, said that he is the best Canadian rookie lineman he has ever seen in the CFL. What amazes him about him is the fact that he makes his share of rookie mistakes, but he never makes the same one twice. Said he learns on the fly, he learns fast, and he says that without question they were expecting quite a bit from him, but he has exceeded expectations game in, game out. Chris?
Let's face it, you know he's had a great year when we're talking about a center as a potential Rookie of the Year.
Well, and you got to believe that he's a front runner coming out of the West for sure, but what a season he's put together. There have been changes up front, and he's had a big night tonight. We've been watching him closely, and Brett Jones has been solid. You think of the changes at guard, Edwin Harrison back and forth. Spencer Wilson's been in and out. The consistency on that O-line has been Brett Jones. And I know we've told the story about him throughout the season, but was accepted into medical school at the U of S, declared that in the draft, was ranked 8th coming into the draft, was picked 16th. Only because people were worried he was going to go to medical school. John Hufnagel said, I'm okay with that. I'm going to get him here, show him Calgary, and we'll see if he'll play a year. Boy, are they glad he did.
Up and inside to Price, but well defended on the play. And that's Aaron Grimes back in the Eskimo defense, and coming off the 9-game disabled list, a late flag flies. Greg Marshall saying yesterday he felt Grimes was their best DB until the injury midway through the year.
Easing him back into the lineup, and best cover guy from the beginning of the season when it went to change their philosophy a little bit. When you lose your best cover guy, you start to play a few more zone defenses and things like that, mix that more into the process.
Blocking downfield before a pass is costing line of scrimmage. Calgary. That's a 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Didn't get a number, but they do march Calgary back.
Well, you got to. Brett Jones didn't get that penalty. They didn't give a number, but the pride of Weyburn, Saskatchewan, is working on his engineering degree right now and will decide whether or not he will continue on with medical school. Not surprising that he doesn't make the same mistake twice.
I'm surprised he makes any. First and 20. And Odell Willis too quick off the mark that time.
Boy, at times when he's at his best, Odell Willis looks like he's been shot out of a cannon.
Offside, Edmonton, number 41. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
So it'll be first and 15. Odell in a good stretch. Marcus Howard and him have combined for 18 sacks now. Howard with 10, Willis with 8, and he's picked his game up. Both of them have been good in this last 5 or 6 week stretch. Willis off the edge quickly. Glenn steps up and now takes a shot, and it's batted down, and they're going to call a penalty. Marcel Young with the knockdown, and let's have another look at this. Looked like it was well defended.
You know, it did. The ball took a while to get there, though, and the question is, did Marcel Young have his offhand on the back of the intended target? Marquay McDaniel.
Pass interference, Edmonton, number 23. Spot of the foul, first down.
And even if he had his hand on the back of Marquay McDaniel, did he turn the receiver as the ball was in the air and go to the top of the route? Now, does he turn him or just have the hand riding on him? I think he was just riding on him. I'm a little surprised the flag came out there.
Boy, that's almost textbook defensive play, isn't it? John Cornish to the edge. And another first down run, and don't look now, but Cornish is well over 70 yards now in this first half alone.
You know, and that's a big one, too, because, you know, take another look at it, and this is This is a penalty where, you know, Tom Higgins and I have had this discussion many, many times about the defensive back is allowed to have his hand on the back of the receiver as long as he doesn't grab him and turn him. And I don't see Marquay McDaniel being turned at all. I think that's a good defensive play, and we'll see if it turns this game.
Matt Walter into the game, giving Cornish a brief respite, and he's taken down after about 4. So Walter back in after missing for a couple of weeks with a concussion issue.
That will be a question as this season continues, and depending on what happens tonight. John Cornish closing in on 100 yards. Up to a bit of a slow start tonight, but he's gaining momentum. How much does he play down the stretch, especially if they win tonight?
I asked him that yesterday, and he doesn't want to sit around and rest. Walter again, and he'll be tripped up short of the first down. So Cornish over 8 yards per carry again, and you know that he might be a victim of the Stampeders' success this year. If they do win and clinch first place before the last game of the year, you think you might just sit him down, but he says, I don't want to be out for 16 days and have that much of a break before the Western Final.
Well, and if you play him and he wins that argument, then how long do you play him? Is it a quarter or two just to keep him sharp, and then you play the rest of the game with Matt Walter?
But if the Stamps were pushed till the final week, his chances of a 2,000 yards or a Calgary record would be even better. They take 3 this time off the pass interference penalty, and some good runs by John Cornish, and it's a 10-point Calgary lead with 4:07 to play in this first half.
Well, it's a long way to go to 2,000, but you know, based on his last 3 games at 452, it's realistic that if they are still battling to lock up first place, especially, that Cornish could get there. I mean, he needs 152 yards a game. He's at 76 now in this game tonight, coming off 3 games where it was 114, 208, 130.
Here's Mike Riley putting it in the hands of Adarius Bowman, lunging towards the 45, and Bowman has 8 to 9 on that pickup.
So it's a long way to go, and I know that a lot of the historians and guys that love the numbers in the game are hoping that Cornish, you know, gets that regular role throughout the season, no matter what happens tonight and over the next week or two. And he gets to that 2,000 mark. He gets to that Calgary Stampeder mark. But the football guy in you says, boy, you'd hate to lose him if first place is already locked up.
2nd and 1. Hugh Charles has the first down. So we've seen a little of John White and Hugh Charles out of the backfield for Edmonton so far tonight. And they've now given the benches the 3-minute warning here in the opening half. The Eskimos trying to cut into a 10-point Calgary lead. They highlight a very special signing yesterday by GM Ed Hervey. Meet Jalen Pleasant-Provo. He signed a 1-day, pretty good $1 million contract with the Eskimos, becoming their newest non-import running back. Quite a day for the 6-year-old. He joined the team practice at his own locker room stall and a pizza party for him and his family in the Players Lounge. The Eskimos, along with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, made Jalen's wish of being a member of the Green and Gold become a reality.
How awesome
Pretty cool,
is
huh?
that? Yeah, absolutely.
I was impressed. Saw a 45-yard run by him for a touchdown in practice yesterday. And the slant to Chambers. Catch with Chris Randall in coverage.
He had the big run in practice. He was out warming up when the teams were out there warming up with his buddies and little moves in the open field, and I don't know, wait a few years and he might just cash in that contract, come back to Ed Hervey and say, hey, I'm ready to go, coach. Put me in the game. That's awesome.
Triple threat, their kick, throw, run. 2nd and short, and the run inside should move the chains into Calgary territory. Well, they struggled offensively last week in Saskatchewan. Mike Riley trying to get some traction here in the late stages of the first half.
And the one throw to Fred Stamps down the field on that corner route, but beyond that, they've not got the ball to the leading receiver in the Canadian Football League in this first half very often.
White stays in the block. Riley has time, looks for Stamps, and Stamps unable to pull it in. Darius Brooks in coverage.
That was that time. I mean, you've got the leading receiver. He's been a real bright spot all season long. Try to throw it up to Fred Stamps. Take your chances. This is a pretty good throw, too. Working one-on-one on Darius Brooks. And Brooks, I think, just got a piece of that to deflect it away from Fred Stamps.
Won the receiving title back in 2009, trying to do so again. Look out! Riley is dropped. Eric Fraser, safety blitz, gets home. And it's the second sack by the Stamps here in this first half. Check that, number 3 for Calgary.
Well, and there's a couple of things about it. One is Riley saw it at the last second when he was able to protect himself, or this could have been a real big hit on Riley. He's going to come around the edge, but here is when we talk about hits on the quarterback and dangerous hits in the game that we're trying to work on as a league and all leagues in North America. Fraser played it perfectly there. Led with his shoulder, not his head, didn't target the head of Mike Riley. That was textbook. That's what we're looking at.
Well, Grant Shaw looked like he was going to fake, and then it gets blocked. And this will be scooped, and it could be a score. Picked up and run in for a touchdown. Jamar Wall into the end zone, and that one will raise some eyebrows.
Well, you know, a desperate team that wants to try and run a fake is one thing. The only issue with the play is that the decision to go ahead and kick it when the fake was covered took way too long for Grant Shaw, and then he got himself in trouble. I mean, he's got to decide by right here if this fake is going to work or not, and if it's not, to kick it away right now. No open receivers, forget it, kick it. Don't take those extra 6-7 steps. Now you're in trouble.
You know, watching that play unfold again, maybe Kuhorn did come open, but it was too late, and the decision to kick a costly one as the Stampeders open up a 17-point lead.
Hey, D, right back at it, D.
Take another look.
Well, and this is also a 3rd and 20 play. Now, Grant Shaw is 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. He's got to make up, if he's going to execute a fake here for a first down, he's got to make up 35 yards to get there. But again, if he sees that it's not going to happen, even to make the decision quicker, he gives the Edmonton Eskimos a chance. Calgary Stampeders react to it, take a big lean in at the half, and all the momentum.
So Jamar Wall with the block, and he does scoop and score.
Try to. Hey! Hey, coach! Just doing my job, baby. Just doing my job.
I like the hat, Jamar.
Tell me, should have kicked the
Great
ball.
play on the teams.
Jamar Wall also leads the Stampeders in interceptions. Now a special team touchdown of Miles. Isn't going anywhere. Jeff Hechtel wrestled him down before he reaches the 20. There is a flag on the play. A little scrap going on away from the play. Nathan Canyon involved. L.A. Nagoya and Chris Randall. Or check that Darius Brooks.
Mike Riley's got his hands full
During
right
the
now.
return, holding, Edmonton, number 86, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Matt Carter called on the hold, and the hole gets deeper late in this first half.
Well, Mike Riley's got to go into the huddle now and say, guys, hey, look, that was a special teams thing. You know, let's just have a short memory here and try and get everybody back on board. That's a pretty deflating play heading in at halftime. There is time if he wants to try and get aggressive, try and get down there and try and put some points on the board.
First down. There's Stamps with the catch, and Wall there to force him out near the first down stick. Fred Stamps had that great finish last year. Slow start, took some heat in the opening weeks, but finished strongly and almost stole the receiving title. Came within 19 yards with a big finish. But he's playing with a lead here going into the final 3 weeks this season.
On the other side.
And you can see they're a few chain lengths short.
Okay, let's go.
Minute 20 on the clock, and after that block punt and score by Calgary, I almost feel like the Eskimos have to get some points before this half's done.
Get ready. Okay, run the hole.
Well, they're playing against a defense that, you know, doesn't probably get the credit Fred Stamps is playing against this Calgary defense that they deserve throughout the year. I know they're sort of, you take a look at their rankings against the run, they're middle of the pack, third against the pass, but when you look at points allowed, that's where this team steps up, and in the big plays, sacks, interceptions. Defensive coordinator Rick Campbell has done a nice job of having a team that he can plug and play with a lot of different players. A defense where he's got guys like Darius Brooks, Keon Raymond, Jonathan Hefney, who's chipped in, and Jamar Wall, who can play in a lot of different places back in the back end, and then two pretty dominant rush ends throughout the season.
First down, 24-yard line. Pressure on again. The long throw to the wide side is caught by Chambers. Fred Bennett will force him out into the final minute. Another Eskimo first down.
This is about trying to get something positive after the special teams blunder.
Well, they ruled that Chambers didn't get out of bounds, so the clock running on the Eskimos here. Quick hitter Stamps, and the Stamps get away from one, and now steps out across midfield. That will stop the clock, 42.1, and this has the makings of the best looking Eskimo drive in this opening half.
Yes, it does. And one more first down away from field goal range.
Stamps 3 catches, 75 in this first half. So Stamps over 1,200 yards on the season. Calgary 54, here comes safety blitz. It's away for Stamps, grab, and Bennett will wrestle him down, and well, that's a spectacular catch for just a couple of yards. That was just showing off.
Well, it just, that's unbelievable. I mean, that's just sticking a fork in it. Throw behind him, over his head, one hand, never puts the other hand on it. Only gets a yard, but that was
Edmonton.
And the Eskimos call a timeout with just over, well, with 35.4 on the clock. Riley's taken some punishment. At least 3 hits this season on Mike Riley have resulted in league fines. Weldon Brown, Carlos Thomas, Cleon Lang. The Lang hit was the one that knocked him out of the game against Toronto.
Tonight it's been a lot of safety blitz from Eric Fraser. Calgary and Rick Campbell, the defensive coordinator that we showed you, has sent Eric Fraser 3 or 4 times tonight that I've seen. A couple forcing quick throws, that a hit there. Riley saw him last second. He also has a sack.
And Kerry Joseph's coming in. So they didn't like what they saw from Mike Riley on the sidelines there after that last hit, and wisely Joseph comes in. 2nd and 8. And he's got Stamps, and Stamps will get out after another first down at the 43.
Well, he asked him a couple questions on the sideline. Helmet was all ajar. You could see his chin strap was kind of off and crooked.
Well, they were criticized for letting him stay in after that Lang hit, even though he threw a touchdown. And when he went to the sidelines that time, helmet maybe right on the jaw. Has knocked Mike Riley out. First down, Edmonton with Joseph at the controls. The 40-year-old takes a shot downfield, and flags fly as that one falls incomplete. Eric Fraser thought he had a pick, and is it going to be first down? Eskimos at the inside the 10.
Pass interference, Calgary. First down.
I saw Fred Stamps on the post pattern. He's running on Brandon Smith here. We didn't get a number from the official. A little bit of a grab there, it looked like, although you can't really see the hand. Again, that's not really enough for me to... That was pass interference.
One apiece in that department tonight. Riley back in. And he throws to Bowman, and that one was read well. And defense by the veteran Keon Raymond. 19 seconds on the clock. It'll be 2nd and goal. Calvin McCarty checks in. There will be some questions, and we don't know why Mike Riley came out. But if it was for the reasons we thought, it's a little surprising
that he's back.
He's back in this quickly.
Unless it was an equipment issue, because his helmet was all ajar there, and we just had to fix that up.
2nd and goal. Riley into the end zone. Bowman! Touchdown, and what a catch! Highlight reel touchdown catch in the 9 seconds of this first half.
Well, you think about the special teams mistake, and this Edmonton team going in the locker room, if they weren't able to put this drive together, just how big this drive is for them. Gives them a chance to go in there and something real positive. Get that 7 points back.
9 plays, 97-yard drive, and Bowman caps it with his 3rd touchdown.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Good job.
A good catch.
Good job. You all right? Hey.
22nd touchdown pass by Mike Riley on the year. That's 3rd best in the league.
Brandon Smith was in coverage again, and Darius Bowman went up over the top to pull it in. And
Shaw the extra point, and now it's 20-10.
Well, mission accomplished for Mike Riley. I mentioned after the mistake on the teams, he went in there to that huddle and had to try and rally the troops and basically say, guys, forget it. That was on special teams. We can't control that. What we can control is to put together a drive. And he did that. The help of a pass interference call. But a good drive, and what a catch by Darius Bowman. That's nice.
Strong hands, and that Bowman Stamps 1-2 punch that was missing for the first half of the year makes such a difference.
Then you think about Kerry Cope, what he could do and how he could contribute. He's been out for a while. And Shamon Chambers over the last 4 games that is starting to come around and take another step. It's only in his 2nd year, so there's room for him to grow. I mean, This team lost 6 games by 5 points or less this year.
Ball squibbed. Dying seconds. Matt Walter on the return. He is dropped with no time left on the clock. GMC live at the half is coming up. 20-10 for the Stampeders through 30 minutes here at Commonwealth. Let's check back in with Dave Randorf and Paul LaPolice.
Yes, indeed. Chris, thank you very much. Well, a little light from the Edmonton Eskimos as that first half comes to an end. Here is Lapo in the GMC coach's playbook. Marquay McDaniel catches a touchdown pass for the Stamps. They have 12 different guys who have caught a touchdown pass this season. The only other team that can say that is Hamilton. That is spreading the ball around.
Yeah.
But you're going to show us how the Edmonton defense could have prevented that.
Yeah, you know, sometimes guys get wide open by running a great route, but sometimes they just get wide open from miscommunication. That looks like what happened on this series as we go back and take a look at this. You get an opportunity. They've got a tight end on the backside here, so now Joe Barnett comes over. The boundary corner comes over. You got Nunez, the linebacker there too. And Marcel Young, watch the miscommunication here. Burnett wants to switch. They don't switch, and then Young is out of position. If they switch, meaning taking the inside guy takes the inside route, they'd be in much better position. The free safety's in no position to make the play because he's kicked to the field. So you really got to have an understanding of, you always love to pass those type of routes off, Dave, and put yourself in a better position.
You know, we talked about Edmonton's mindset coming into this game, and there are 3 remaining games. What if you are coaching in Calgary? What are the things you emphasize this week to make sure you don't overlook the Eskimos and take care of business and get the 13th win?
You know, it sounded like coach.
Yeah!
20-10 as we head to the second half here at Commonwealth. First to the sidelines, Ryan Rashog and Kavis Reed.
Kavis, first and foremost, looked like Mike Riley took another hard shot. Will he continue in this game?
We'll see. Mike said he's okay. We have had him checked out. He's fine. And we'll give him the start in the second half and see where it goes from there.
Did he have concussion protocols in the dressing room at halftime?
Absolutely. We always remain certain on the sidelines when we went through it. That's why he was taken out of the football game.
Kavis, it was clear he said to you on the sidelines, I swear to you, I'm fine. The cameras caught it. Do you believe Mike Riley is the type of athlete that will tell you if he can't go?
As a football coach, you got to make certain that you trust your players, and Mike will tell us the truth. In that particular case, we wanted to make certain that we did everything proper. That's why he was taken out of the football game.
Thanks, Kavis.
Thank you.
So Riley came out of the game while they did the concussion protocol on the sidelines, and we caught this look at Mike Riley telling Kavis Reed.
Your lip reader, I swear, he's saying, I swear I'm fine, to his head coach. But it was a hit to the head from Eric Fraser. We looked at it again at halftime, and he did get caught under the chin.
Second half underway. Jamal Miles on the return. Makes the first man miss. Now flag flies, and he'll be dropped around the 34-yard line. Justin Phillips on the tackle.
Now, he was taken out of the football game, as Kavis Reed mentioned. And, you know, at some point you trust the doctors and you trust the athlete, even in this case more so the doctors, because especially a guy like Riley.
During the return, holding, Edmonton, number 55, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Nagoye called on the hold.
But when we looked at it again at halftime, Eric Fraser did make helmet contact under the chin of Riley. You'll see the top of his head right under the chin, turn the helmet of Riley, and he was down and face down into the grass for some time, into the turf.
Eskimos start at their 20. Here comes pressure, quick hitter, and nearly intercepted. Should have been picked off, and Jamar Wall in and out of his hands, and Riley wants to talk to Fred Stamps about that route.
Let's show you the hit one more time. And now he doesn't move, face down on the turf. Did sit out a few plays. Now, the first play to start this second half, and it looked like it was a communication issue as he talks to Fred Stamps, but clearly not near the target. I wonder.
This reaction would indicate that was on Stamps. Hughes flushes him from the pocket. He takes off. Mike Riley rumbles for a first down and gets out. Glenn Love in pursuit, but Riley scrambles for 14.
No, and I'm mentioning that, you know, at some point you got to trust the medical staff has gone through the protocol. That's why he was pulled out of the game, and the coaches obviously are concerned for the person first and the athlete, the player second. He did come back in that series.
In the first two meetings. And more pressure here. He scrambles, takes a shot, snapped in stride, has it down the sidelines. So Riley to Stamps, who's over 100 yards on the night.
Well, and if Kavis Reed, who you got to think is watching him closely, he's seen a couple of things from him already. One, he took off and ran already in this series. Two, he had the presence of mind here to keep his eyes down the field and find Fred Stamps while he was under pressure, while he was scrambling. Both good signs that he is clear-headed.
Fred Stamps now has 15 catches of 30-plus on the year. That was 38. 6 catches, 124 yards on the night. Hand off inside John White, and middle linebacker Jawan Simpson there to lead the tacklers. On his way to a receiving title.
What trips into the boundary, I just want to show you that Fred Stamps catch down the sideline. He was supposed to be that little bang route to the outside, and he saw Riley scramble. Those are his scramble rules. If you're a short receiver, a receiver with a short route, you turn it deep when your quarterback scrambles.
Mike Riley leads the league in passes of 30 yards plus on the year. Up to 33 now. 2nd and 10. Rolling, sets, fires deep, wants Stamps again, and he can't make that one-handed grab with Brandon Smith in coverage.
Brandon Smith stuck with him, and with those 2 pass interference calls in the first half that were a little bit questionable, this time Brandon Smith is just going to run in the hip pocket. A little bit of hand fighting between both receiver and defensive back. And they let that go.
So shot from 45. He's hit from 47 tonight. And he's missed this. And Larry Taylor coming up. And Taylor with an inside move and then gets tripped up around the 10, and they may call a tripping penalty. Flag is down. We'll sort it out. When we return, John Cornish goes back to work with 100 and more in his sights. Experts down the truck, not only providing us with full moon coverage, but tell us there's a lunar eclipse tonight. So stay tuned. Here's Maurice Price, fly sweep for the Stamps, and oh, that was a quick close by Rennie Curran.
Fourth tackle on the night for Rennie Curran.
We should mention that Justin Capicotti was called for the tripping on the return out of the end zone by Larry Taylor.
Watch how quickly 35 closes here. Has to go around the offensive line down the field. Spencer Wilson.
Former Butkus Trophy finalist. Top linebacker in college football. Glenn scrambles. Gets it away, and Cornish unable to make the catch, and it's a 2-and-out.
Bit of a fastball there from Kevin Glenn.
Third 2-and-out in the game for Calgary. And the Eskimos will get the ball right back and should get decent field position.
Well, it should be a 3-point game, but for a mistake on the teams in the first half.
Neighbors boot. Miles bubbling back here, and now finds something. Made a little out of what looked like was closing down. 9-yard return. Fred Stamps, big numbers tonight. Looking for more when we come back.
Call of Saskatchewan.
Good field position start for Edmonton. And somebody flinched there. The Stampeders pointing out, and was it the left guard Miles Mason?
He said
procedure. No. Edmonton, number 69. 10-yard penalty, or 5-yard penalty remains first down.
Al Bradbury says yes.
It does. And you watched him walk by the official there and shake his head. No, it wasn't me. I didn't move. Didn't win the argument.
Juwan Simpson was pointing it out quickly. So the field position start not quite as good at the Edmonton 49. Quickly into the hands of Carter, into the grasp of Simpson at the Calgary 50-yard line.
You know, and this can move on from this thought, but
Matt Carter's a little slow to get up.
Shaken up there, but just watching Mike Riley in these first couple of series, looks okay. Eyes up. Presence of mind to hit Fred Stamps down the sideline there. Those are all good signs. He looked a little jittery out of the start, bouncing around in the pocket a little bit, maybe not comfortable. That was the concern, but looks okay. Now let's take a look at what happened to Matt Carter. Juwan Simpson. That's helmet-to-helmet contact, but Carter was actually going down here trying to protect himself, kneeling down and crouching a little bit. I'm not sure that Juwan Simpson had any chance to avoid that contact.
And we've heard a lot of the coaches talk about when a player is sacrificing himself, is headed down to the turf. You know, the defensive player really, you know, his moving target, it's not intentional helmet-to-helmet in those circumstances, even though Juwan Simpson ended up getting him in the ear hole. Carter, who had a touchdown against Calgary in that stirring comeback on Labor Day.
You know, and those hits in the open field with a receiver, running back, attacking a defensive back or a linebacker are going to be a lot tougher to sort out as this all continues to evolve than the hits on the quarterback. I think protection of the quarterback has moved a long, long way over the last few years.
2nd and 4. Eskimos went 2 back with McCarty. Riley goes through his reads, goes deep. Bowman can't make the catch. Decent coverage by Jamar Wall on a Darius Bowman.
That ball looked like it had a chance. I mean, Darius Bowman was in behind Wall initially, and then at the end of the play, he decides with his left arm just to kind of try and knock down Jamar Wall's interference there with his hand. Not pass interference, but just messing with him a little bit with his right hand instead of trying to go for that ball with both hands on it.
So it's the
I got you, girl.
5th 2 and out, and Grant Shaw with an angling punt down around the 10-yard line, and Taylor well covered on the play. Corbin Sharoon down in a hurry along with Nathan Kanya. Kevin Glenn back to work when we come back. Scary incident last week at Mosaic on a kickoff when Armando Sewell fielded the ball and took a knee in the helmet from Brian Peters on the way down. It jammed his neck, and he was down for quite some time, off on a stretcher. And with an update on his status, here's Ryan.
Yeah, Chris, it definitely was scary to watch that happen to Armando Sewell, but the news is good. He was back on the field with his team this week, on the practice field, although not partaking fully with his team. He's on the sidelines here tonight. He was taken to a hospital, spent a short amount of time there under observation. Then they released him that same day. He rejoined his team the next day, whiplash-like symptoms, and there is a good chance that he will see action again before the end of this year. So a scary incident, but a decent result.
Pass intended for Maurice Price, incomplete as the Stampeders start at the 13, and there was the fear tonight that without Sewell that they might not be able to corral John Cornish.
Well, they feel like he's their best run stopper in the defensive line, and obviously not dressed for tonight's game, as Ryan mentioned, but it's good to hear, again, thinking about the person first, the player second, that he will be back and return to action before the season's over.
Cornish releases from the backfield, a middle screen, and it's Marquay McDaniel with the first down up to the 25-yard line.
They've done this a couple of times. Release Cornish out of there to try and influence the linebackers to open up some space for the screen. Cornish vacates, and they're hoping that a linebacker will go with him so that that screen to the receiver, Marquay McDaniel, will be there. And so far, so good that they've successfully run that play a couple of times. Odell Willis tried to scramble to it, but didn't get there in time to hold him short of the first down.
Odell Willis the tackle, but it is a first down. Up at the 25 and into the hands of Cornish, and straight ahead for 6 to the 31. And Cornish up to 82 on the night.
Trying to shake something off there. Just thought he had a big run there, and the guy who closed on him, Marcus Howard, had the speed to get there and limit that gain to about 6. I think Cornish jumped up from that run thinking, boy, I get past that one and I have something.
Closing in on Lavelle Coleman for number 3 on the Calgary list of season best rushing totals. Coleman back in 1964, and a flag flies, and they don't get this play off in time.
Time count violation. Calgary, number 15. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Didn't snap the ball in time.
Going to be 2nd and 9.
Dave Dickinson communicating the play in the headset of Kevin Glenn, who looks at his wristband and relays it to the rest of the huddle.
Kevin Glenn saying that he agrees with the assessment. This is the best he's been in the league, but he still thinks there's even bigger upside for him. Production-wise, pressure on there, but he stood in, got it to Fuller, and Fuller makes a man miss and has a first down. Sidesteps step TJ Hill and moves the chains.
Kevin Glenn has some composure here because he gets twisted around. He's in that shotgun formation. Looked like blitz coming. And then they drop out of it. They do bring some outside pressure from Marcus Howard. And then he gets twisted around a little bit, maintains his composure, steps up, is able to find Fuller, and he does the rest to get the extra 3-4.
Fuller, the 19th different receiver to catch a pass for the Stamps this year. And a pass in the flat, and Anthony Parker has his first catch of the night. And the Stampeders putting together first downs.
Sorry, we got...
Little sideline route for Anthony Parker.
14 yards for the third-year man out of the University of Calgary. Now approaching midfield. Back in the hands of Cornish, right side. And he gets stacked back up after a couple, maybe 3 to midfield.
John Cornish trying to get to that 100-yard mark again tonight. It would be his 8th on the season.
He's had 3 straight, which is the longest consecutive streak for Cornish. And I believe that run gives him 16:30 on the season, which would put him 1 ahead of Lavelle Coleman. So the 3rd best rushing total in Calgary Stampeder history. Kevin Glenn looking downfield for Parker again. Incomplete. Marcel Young there, and that time it looked like we'd get an interference call, and Dave Dickinson can't believe it.
Well, based on the first half, I understand the frustration. It's, you know, coaches are looking for consistency, and when you saw the first half, I mean, they didn't look like there was much contact at all on the 2 that were called in the first half. You look at this one, and clearly Marcel Young is almost tackling and twisting Anthony Parker.
There was that twist that you've talked about.
Exactly.
Kicked by Maver. Fielded by Miles. Can he get outside? This time he does. Waited for some blocking and gets shoved out by McCartney at the 28-yard line. Under 5 minutes left, 3rd quarter, still the 10-point Calgary lead. 50 a.m. Eastern, 6:50 Pacific on TSN. And be sure to check out tsn.ca for each weekend schedule. Edmonton Eskimos 1 home win this year. Trying to rally back here against Calgary. And off to John White inside. And there's Jawan Simpson waiting. Biggest discrepancy between these 2 teams in a matchup since 1949. 9 games better, the Stamps, than the Eskimos. That has not happened in over 60 years.
Yeah, and another reason why they wanted to put together a good effort tonight and see if they could get that 2nd win at home, beat a Western team, which they haven't done all year long.
2nd and 4. Riley for Stamps, got it. And a first down, shoved out by Keon Raymond. Matchup of 2 good veterans there. Fred Stamps and Keon Raymond.
Fred Stamps will line up deep and try and just catch this on the snap, on the fly, so that he can run that speed out and get there before Keon Raymond can close. Mission accomplished.
First down from the 43. That's Eric Fraser, the safety, up on the line. And he's coming. Riley taking a shot. Bowman couldn't find it, and it was a stride or two too far. And there's Raymond step for step that time with Bowman.
Well, this is the adjustment. to that safety blitz, and Mike Riley tries to keep this drive alive. Clearly the adjustment they're trying to make when Eric Fraser comes down low like that, they want to try and make the big play down the field. That time it was to Darius Bowman to pump up those numbers a little bit for Mike Riley, just under 200. So we close in on the end of the third quarter.
244 last week for Riley in his 2 games against Calgary. Previously 246 and 194 passing yards. Looks one way or the other. Anybody home? Now in chase mode. Checks down, and White can't make the catch in front of the Edmonton bench.
And well short of the first down anyway.
So the punt team has to come on. Riley goes over that last play in series with offensive coordinator Doug Sams. Stamps trying to set up a return. McDaniel. And nothing there as he is swarmed about the 28-yard line. John Cornish, 14 yards away from another 100-yard game.
Well, and he's on his average basically, which coming into tonight was an amazing 7.2 yards. Which, if he can continue that average for the rest of the season, would be the best for a leading rusher if he wins the rushing title. The best for a leading rusher in the league's history.
See him line up at the wideout spot once again. Glenn checks down, and that pass broken up over the middle. Donovan Alexander, and again Parker looking for a flag.
Well, there's a flag, but it's way back by Kevin Glenn. Not near the receiver Parker.
Major foul, face mask, Edmonton, number 93. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Or a Massian with a head shot that draws a flag.
Let's bull rush, straight bull rush. And grabs the face mask of Kevin Glenn at the end of the play.
Costly mistake. They were over 100 yards in penalties last week. And here's Cornish with the couple. Munoz the tackle. He's now 40 away from Henry Burris, the all-time list. Veteran Hamilton quarterback, the active rushing leader in the CFL. And John Cornish intent on changing that with his old teammate. Quarterback is not supposed to be the active leading rusher. And early movement. Oramassian with a jump.
Oramassian's got to focus back in. That's a couple of just mental mistakes. One that kept the drive alive for Calgary.
Offside, Edmonton, number 93. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
And one that's going to put him in a second and short. Caves Reed has seen enough, and will put Eddie Steele on the field.
The Eskimos shuttling 3 Canadian defensive tackles through tonight. Oramassian, Ted Laurent, and Eddie Steele in the absence of Mondo Sewell. 5-minute third quarter. Back to Cornish. And Cornish across midfield. And he'll have the first down. Rennie Curran another tackle. But they're making John Cornish work like they did Corey Sheets last week.
Well, yeah, but you know, he needs one. He needs to just break one, and all of a sudden he's well over 100 and having that big night, because that's what happens with John Cornish. He chips away, he wears you down. He's heading into the fourth quarter, poised to be over 100 again tonight.
Could be the final play of this third quarter. 1st and 10. They take one way and into the hands of Fuller. And the new receiver has another catch and first down to the Edmonton 36-yard line. That's the final play of quarter number 3.
Say get ready to go. Yeah. It's Friday night, you know.
Scoreless third quarter, so it remains 20-10 as we check the numbers through 3 quarters.
John Cornish, 6 yards from 100 on the night. Should get that in his next carry or 2. And the Edmonton Eskimos got a big game again out of Fred Stamps, leading receiver in the CFL, over 130 yards of their offense.
Eskimos are 3-12. They've lost 6 games by 5 points or fewer. And you're seeing the little mistakes that are the difference makers once again tonight.
Yeah, it really is. You know, in that first half, Grant Shaw was supposed to kick the football, didn't. That turned into a touchdown on the block. And then Donnie O with a face mask on Kevin Glenn has kept this drive, this current drive, alive for the Calgary Stampeders. And think of those close games they lost, 6 of them by 5 points or less. It's those little mistakes that get you.
Oramassian watching. Calgary getting set, 1st and 10. After the Fuller catch. The ball on the Edmonton 37-yard line. Fake to Cornish. Glenn steps up, throws, and it's incomplete.
That's interesting because, you know, Donnie O hasn't been back on the field. Grant Shaw, I went back and looked at it at halftime. We assumed that it was a fake call. I want to show you that first half play. There's the punter right there. Go ahead and run it. And in order for this to be a fake that Grant Shaw was looking, you have to have eligible receivers downfield. Well, there isn't any. These are cover guys, not receivers. So Grant Shaw was directed to kick the football. We heard from Kavis Reed at halftime. Just move to his right a little bit and kick it. He didn't, got it blocked, turned into 7 points, or this is a 3-point game.
2nd and 10, Glenn, quick hitter. Marquay McDaniel the catch, and he gets away. Down inside the 5. Had to readjust the football there, but broke a tackle and nearly busted it for a touchdown.
Yeah, just fought it off a little bit. Had to make sure he secured the ball first. Nice blitz pickup by Kevin Glenn. He recognized blitz, had that slant route over the middle to Marquay McDaniel, who's closing in on his first 1,000-yard season of his career.
Came up 6 yards short back in 2010. 1st and goal. Hand off. And John Cornish is stuffed, and there's Munoz dropping Cornish at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss. Well, they'll give him forward progress back to the line.
Well, he's been focused in on him and cost him a couple in play action, but this time they do go to Cornish down there, and he's right there to make the tackle.
Notice that Stanley Bryant, who started the game at left tackle, is out. Edwin Harrison has moved over there as they've had to readjust. John Gott's in, and that ever-changing offensive line for Calgary forced to adjust once again. 2nd goal, 9th play of the drive. Glenn back to the end zone, too far.
Whoa.
And Maurice Price, a little slide on the track there. And an uncomfortable landing.
Yeah, he went down hard. Got on the track here at the end of this and tried to put the brakes on and lost his footing and went down real hard. Let's hope that he's okay.
So the field goal unit has to come on. And Paredes to attempt to register the first points of the 2nd half. Puts that one through, 12-yarder. And he's now 47 of 50 on the season. Year looking for a sweep of their Alberta rivals. Mike Riley will try and orchestrate a fourth quarter comeback to deny all that. From the 35 they start, and there's Bowman with the catch, and he backpedaled. And did he take himself out of first down yardage? Doesn't look like it. They'll give him forward progress just beyond the 45. Or will they? They're marking it right at the 45.
Yeah, they're going to give him the forward progress, I think, and he did have to come back a step or two to the football. Turned around.
In fact, now they're going to measure. And it might be second in inches.
Hey, get his arm taped up during this time. You got your arm taped up? Perfect.
I think Davis Reed there would love to be talking to the official, but he has completely lost his voice. So
he stretched it out. Well, do you use second and a chain link or two for a big play?
Shot over the top.
Yep. I thought they got a pretty good spot there because he backpedaled pretty deep after making the catch.
Well, and yeah, you're right. And the way he turned around, you'd think that it would reset. The forward progress that now doesn't come into play quite as much when the receiver is turned around, try and make a move. But they do get a good spot, so second in inches.
3 and 12, down by 13. I'd take a shot, but I'm not the coach here. They'll take the first down.
Calgary Stampeders in town, and that means that their play-by-play guy for the last 15 years is here with them. And a special congratulations to Mark Stephen, who's will be inducted into the Football Reporters of Canada section of the Hall of Fame, Canadian Football Hall of Fame, QR77. And I work with Mark during the week, him and Jock Wilson.
Yes, sir. Congratulations to Mark. True pro. Here's a pass in the flat. Bowman's got another catch, has another first down, and gets dragged down at the 52 after his 6th grab of the night.
Mike Riley's going to put trips to the field. 3 receivers out there now. Fred Stamps has been so dangerous that he's going to work as the decoy to push the defensive secondary up the field a little bit, give a little bit more room for his teammate, Darius Bowman, underneath.
Brooks and Smith on the tackle. It's a first down, Edmonton. Calgary 51. And the handoff inside. Hugh Charles finds a crease. Daylight for Charles into the secondary. And down inside the 25-yard line, safety Eric Fraser had to make the tackle.
Hugh Charles made so many moves on this run. I was thinking, why don't you just decide what direction you'd like to go in? Because he hesitates there, then he finds the hole, then he cuts back, then he cuts to his right, then he's back to his left. I mean, there was 4 or 5 moves.
He's changing gears.
Changed gears 4 or 5 moves for a 28-yard gain.
Hugh Charles not in the lineup for the first 2 meetings against Calgary. 28 yards. Another first down. Pressure on. Riley in trouble. And he'll get taken down at the 26 and dropped for the 4th sack of the night.
This is a good example of that imaginary clock in the head of a quarterback when he's back there and he knows that that time is running out. He doesn't see the pressure coming, but watch how he's got that countdown going, and he realizes that I've been in here too long. There's got to be pressure coming. He did see it late and then just tried to scramble for what he could, but that was a perfect example of the imaginary clock in a quarterback's mind.
The newcomer for the Edmonton Eskimos, Jamar Howard, has checked in on 2nd and 10. On the roster last week, 2nd week for Howard. They're looking for Stamps, and he can't make the catch. And he went into the signage pretty heavily. Little bobble there Fireworks going off as if he made the grab, but even if he'd secured the football, he did not have possession with a foot in, and he gets up and hobbles gingerly to the sidelines.
Mike Riley gave him a chance, put it right on him, and he just juggles it a split second. Keon Raymond gives him a shove, not until after the ball was there. Doesn't juggle that ball, it's a touchdown.
So missed opportunity. Shaw for the field goal from 33 out. And it's now 23-13. It's a 10-point lead. Fred Stamps was... That's Fred Stamps getting attention after that last offensive play for the Eskimos. And with more injury updates, here's Ryan.
Yeah, Chris, over here on the Stampeders sideline, offensive lineman Stanley Bryant came out, is currently sitting on the bench with an ice pack on his knee, and it does not look that it will be likely he'll be back in this game. And over on the Eskimo sideline, receiver Matt Carter went through the concussion protocol. I've been told he will not return to this game.
Flag down as they screen to Cornish. He outruns Oramacion and up beyond the 40-yard line. Let's check the flag.
That's a matchup that John Cornish is going to win every time.
This one coming back as the signals a penalty against Calgary.
Holding, Calgary, number 64. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Jermichael Dean, who's moved in with the injury to Stanley Bryant. Of course, we mentioned off the top of the show the offensive line without Dimitri Sumpas for an extended period of time as he continues to battle the effects of a concussion.
John Cornish was overly angry, more so than I think he should be on that one.
Dancing by Glenn, who lost his footing and throws it away. Got it to the line of scrimmage to avoid a penalty.
You know, he seemed, was it just me or was John Cornish very angry with that holding call, and still looks like he's fuming here. Now he talks about, you know, the bigger goal, the bigger picture, and I know that he, you know, is a team guy that wants to make sure that they lock up first is the first priority, and at times says he doesn't know the numbers, but he's just shy of 100 yards. That last run that was taken back would have put him over 100. Well, that was a throw. You're right, that was a throw.
5 carries, 19 in the second half. Great catch. There's Jeff Fuller, and that's exactly what Kevin Glenn talked about, his ability to make a catch even when the ball's not right on the spot. And there is a flag, but a pretty reception by the newcomer Jeff Fuller. Flag is in that Eskimo secondary.
After the first down was made, objectionable conduct, Calgary, number 31. 10 yards back, but it is a first down.
Well, let's find out if he taunted.
Well, first of all, you're right. Kevin Glenn wanted to see him play because you just have to throw it in his area code. And anywhere around him, he'll come down with it. He shows you that there. Now, I'm not sure what he did when he got up.
Four catches, 76 yards, and now in the hands of Cornish. Hard run there to the 44 for Cornish. 5 previous carries for 19 yards for John Cornish in the second half.
Let's go back to that previous play and see what Jeff Fuller did to cost himself 10 yards. Well, he threw the ball behind his back and hit one of the Edmonton Eskimos.
Well, they tell us that's in the rule book, but I'm not a big fan of that call.
Well, not in that case. That's.
Big to Cornish, and a nice catch by Maurice Price. On the money from Kevin Glenn, the tackle made by the safety, Donovan Alexander.
Well, Kevin Glenn gives Price no option here but to catch this ball. I mean, he puts it right on him. He throws it right on the break. Coming out of that break, good coverage there by Chris Thompson. Can't really cover it any better. And he had the safety, Donovan Alexander, coming downhill on him too. Put it in that little window between the 1 and the 7. That was a perfect throw.
And this will be 100 plus. And a first down run to boot for John Cornish. So it's 4 consecutive 100-yard games for Cornish and 8 on the season. Now at close to 1,650 yards.
And I'm just going to say it. John Cornish, Corey Sheets, they know the numbers.
Oh, yeah. And they know each other's numbers.
And you know, they say the right things, and so they should when they're asked. And, you know, they put the team first and the bigger picture first. But the guys know the numbers. Now, to get to 2,000, as we mentioned off the top, just be the second player in the league's history to do that. He needs to add about another 48, 50 yards here. He needs about 152 a night. And he's at 111 at this point.
So he is 17 away from 5,000. Joffrey Reynolds, the man he took over the job from, best season was 2009 at 1541. Cornish passed that last week and has passed Lavelle Coleman's best, 1629 in 1964. Next on the list, Earl Lunsford, who went on to be the GM of the Stampeders. He had 1794. Drew Tate, short yardage, will move the chains. But a lot of people now starting to wonder if John Cornish has done enough to be the first Canadian MOP since Tony Gabriel in 1978. Could he be the first Canadian Athlete of the Year since Russ Jackson in the late 60s?
Boy, he should be in all those conversations, I'll tell you that. I mean, and just put that in perspective for a second, too. Think about that. As great a season as he's had, 2,000 yards, he still needs 152 a game. Some kind of season by Mike Pringle.
There's Glenn under pressure, hit hard, ball loose, and Calgary gets back on it. Kevin Glenn took quite a shot, and Marquay McDaniel saves the day for the Stampeders.
Well, Glenn got snowed under there. I mean, he just got run over. Donnie O and Ted Laurent get an incredible push up the middle. I mean, they're just coming, and they just, that momentum cannot be stopped.
So the ball back at the 52-yard line. Second and a whole bunch. Pressure again over the middle, and Jabari Arthur has the catch. Short gain to the 45. Is it long enough for Rene Paredes range? And I wonder if John Hufnagel would give Paredes the shot here. We know he can hit from that distance.
Whoa.
And he wants to hit from that distance, but
he's frustrated.
They're going to send Rob Maver out for the pin.
He didn't like that decision, and he still doesn't.
10-point lead, and
I notice he's not over there really close to John.
No.
he doesn't like it from a distance.
John Hufnagel has liked what Maver's done, but not here. That's a single, and now it's a 24-13 lead. So a 64-yard single as Maver misses the corner. So it's an 11-point Calgary lead. 3:24 to go. Couple scores needed by the Eskimos. Here's Riley on a roll. May take off and does. And he'll put a shoulder down and get a first down. Met there by Darius Brooks.
They go to training camp next year. I hope the first page of the playbook for Mike Riley is take fewer hits when he picks it up. He could have gone out of bounds there and didn't. You love it, but get out of bounds, 13.
3-minute warning given to the benches there after the first down run by Mike Riley. 24-13, Stampeders with the lead. First game of the week, and here are the remaining games in week 17. Argos have lost 2 straight games. The big one, BC Saskatchewan. Calgary wins here tonight, and the Lions beat the Rough Riders. Calgary will host the Western Final. And Hamilton and Montreal dueling on Sunday afternoon, and Percival Molson with Troy Smith at quarterback. And the tough news today about Anthony Calvillo.
Yeah. Too bad. He was hopeful that he could make that last game of the regular season, maybe help out in the playoffs, but it was announced that he will be done for the year.
1st and 10. Fraser was blitzing. Catch is made, and there's Miles stepping out at the Calgary 48-yard line. Jamal Miles.
Route running, just push the defensive back up.
Add some speed to that Eskimo attack. Mike Riley at 232 passing yards on the game. First down, rush on, steps up, takes off, and a feet first slide in first down territory. Well, he slid across that first down, but they're going to mark him, I believe, a yard short. So it's going to be 2nd and 1. And they line up immediately and push for a first down. Looked like that right side was off the ball pretty quickly, but no flag.
Well, he's a scrapper. I'll give him that. I mean, Mike Riley, one of the goals for Edmonton coming in this year was to find a franchise player, and they've got one.
First down, out of the backfield. It's Miles with the catch for Charles. Charles taken down by Jawan Simpson. Gave us read an interesting comment about Mike Riley yesterday. He said there is not much fine-tuning for Mike Riley to be a championship quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. He's got the toughness. He does have the accuracy. He's got all the throws that he needs. He's got those great intangibles, the leadership.
First down. Pressure on. Over the middle and nearly picked. Keon Raymond with a good break on the football pass intended for Shamad Chambers, and Riley a little slow to get up again.
Well, and it's well documented, but when we talk about what they need to do to help Mike Riley next year, they need to improve that group right there. And it's not all on the offensive line, but yet another hit taken by the quarterback for Edmonton.
Junior Turner back in that Calgary defense coming off an injury. The third-year man out of Bishops with a shot on the quarterback. And Micah Johnson, defensive tackle, getting attention. So Riley has time to check in on the sidelines with Doug Sams and company.
Well, they're in that situation at 2:08. When you look at the game and the score, look at how many times he's been hit and hurried tonight, sacked 4 times as well. That you want to take a shot now, you might not have to onside kick. It's right in that bubble area. If you could get a quick stop by your defense, but
just thinking 18 times he's been hit tonight. and how many times this year.
And one by Eric Fraser again that was on the chin. And you mentioned it once already, but I believe it was 4 that players were actually fined for hits to the head on Mike Riley alone, including Carlos Thomas last week in Saskatchewan.
Yet he and Henry Burris, the only 2 quarterbacks that are winning the quarterback survivor pool this year, starting every game. So it's 2nd and 10 from the Stamps 19. They empty it out. A pump, he won't get it away. There's another hit. Dragged down, and it's Charleston Hughes with the sack. That's his 2nd of the game and 15th of the year.
And I don't blame Mike Riley for thinking he could pump fake and go deep. He only had 3-man pressure, but one of those 3 was Charleston Hughes. He counts for 2.
12 sacks for Hughes in 8 games against Edmonton. Shaw off the upright, and Grant Shaw's frustrations against Calgary continue. Last year missed a chance to win 2 games in the final play with field goals, and both were tough shots. Block punt for a touchdown in this game, and now that is going to really...
That sums up the Edmonton Eskimos season. Hold was good from Kerry Joseph.
And this from 32 yards out.
And again, I know Edmonton fans don't want to hear it, but 6 games lost by 5 points or less. Sums it up right there.
John Cornish bounced off first contact, and Cornish has 5 to his totals.
Well, there's even more now with regards to that BC-Saskatchewan contest. When you're looking at the Western Division, the Calgary Stampeders will be watching it closely. John Cornish, over 100 yards, will be watching Corey Sheets. Not that he's counting the numbers, but they're counting the numbers.
At 116 on the night. Took a couple of days off this week. He's taken a lot of punishment. 2nd and 5, and Cornish get a fresh set of downs, get 7 more, and TJ Hill the tackle, but with Cornish getting the first down might give him another chance at 2 more carries. Although there is a flag.
Think about this team, this Calgary Stampeder football team. 12-3 on the season. They'll improve to 13-3. Have a chance to win 15 games.
After the play, unnecessary roughness, Edmonton, number 91. 15-yard penalty, first down.
2008, 2010, John Huffnagel's teams won 13 games. This would be, if they can finish that strong, the best season in the regular season under John Huffnagel. When you look at those names, the top of all time, and he's 4th. It has been an amazing run. And this is a team that has fought through some injury adversity as well. A lot of it.
Cornish time. Across midfield, adds to the totals. There's a big run, and he skips out around the 36-yard line.
And limps. Yeah.
That's not a good sign. That's his last carry of the night.
Yeah, and he just waved over to... Well, and this gets into the question we talked about in the first half. If the BC Lions win tomorrow and Calgary locks up first place, how much do you play John Cornish if you're John Huffnagel in the final 2 games of the regular season?
Just went over 5,000 yards in his career. He is now the active leading rusher in the Canadian Football League. 145 on the night. And Matt Walter will get to finish it off here for the Stampeders, it would appear. And how significant was that little hobble on the sidelines after the last run for Cornish? Juwan Simpson didn't look too concerned as he congratulated Cornish on another big run and night. Fourth time he's been over 130.
Yeah, and I think, Chris, if there was any real concern, he'd have an ice pack somewhere.
Yep. Please reset
to
the
that
game
leg
clock
in a
to
heartbeat.
1.
So just a little tweak or felt something and then decided, okay.
So 1,690 yards, and we'll have to check to see if he has any more Friday night games because he loves the Friday night lights, doesn't he?
Oh, does he ever.
Doesn't mind playing his Alberta rivals either. Clock running down into the final minute. 2nd and 4. Back in Matt Walter's hands. Trying to push the pile, and he'll be stopped just a little short.
Again, when you take a look at the overall list, the all-time rushing yards leaders, as he continues to climb up the charts, he's right on the heels of our teammate Matt Dunnigan. But again, it puts into perspective for me just the incredible career of Mike Pringle and what he accomplished, and of course George Reed up there. But you think of that 2,000+ year for Mike Pringle, just how difficult that is to achieve in a league, in a 3-down league where it's a passing game.
It's fun watching the names of people he's passed as well. Tonight alone, he's gone by
Edmonton.
Gone by Cookie Gilchrist, one of the great names in the game. Milson Jones, the former Edmonton Eskimo.
Yeah.
Wes Cates of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Henry Burris, Avon Coburn. So there's a lot of interesting names. And up next, as you saw, Matt Dunnigan, Russ Jackson on the list as he closes in on some more of the CFL greats. But the biggest question is his status for next week as he tests out that leg, and it doesn't look like it's serious. Here's Rennie Paredes. He's hit 3 tonight. Can't afford another miss in order to break Paul McCallum's record. And doesn't look like he's going to miss again. We had some fun watching him. He was still upset in the commercial break that John Huffnagel didn't let him try the 47-yarder earlier. And that's the confidence he has.
Yeah,
he's not worried about Paul McCallum's record. And now in range to hit one more time and no more misses, and he'll have the best field goal percentage for a season in CFL history as long as he doesn't miss again.
All right, good on him for, that's why he was frustrated. It wasn't about personal numbers. He didn't worry about the percentage. He thought he could chip in, help his team. That's why he wanted to take that shot. John Huffnagel decided to go in a different direction.
14-point lead. Riley tried to dump it off, incomplete. John White was the intended target. We have 38.6 to go. Then SportsCenter will bring you up to date on everything else happening in the world of sport tonight. And Kerry Joseph coming in to finish it off. And Mike Riley is about as happy as Rennie Paredes when he didn't get a chance to kick a 47-yarder. Riley wanted to finish.
Wow, he wants to finish the last 38 seconds, and he's not happy to be pulled.
So Joseph, is this the final time Kerry Joseph performs at Commonwealth Stadium as an Edmonton Eskimo, 40 years of age? Mike Riley not concerned about that, but that might have factored in.
Well, and a guy who's 16th all time in Kerry Joseph. Boy, has he put together a nice career. Former free safety in the National Football League. Grey Cup champion.
And he whistles that sideline pass for Chambers.
And a guy
incomplete, and it's a turnover on downs.
A guy, Chris, that I really believe will become a coach when he decides to hang him up. Not sure if that'll be next year. Of course, the Edmonton Eskimos have a couple games left to wrap up the regular season on the road. But yeah, it may be for the few fans that are left here at Commonwealth the last chance to see a very good football player, an outstanding player, a Grey Cup champion back in 2007, 3 4,000-yard seasons for Kerry Joseph.
Well, the clock will run out here. Really is hard to believe a 1-win at home season for the Edmonton Eskimos. They will go 0-8 against Western Division opponents. And the Calgary Stampeders win their 7th consecutive visit to Commonwealth, their 8th straight victory overall against the Alberta rivals. John Cornish doesn't look too worried about what looked like might have been a little tweak at the end of the game. Game's in the books. The home season's done for the Edmonton Eskimos, and the Stampeders' roll continues. 4th straight victory. They're now 13-3 on the year, and John Cornish 145 on the night. Eskimos fall to 3-13, 27-13 the final. So long from Edmonton. SportsCenter is now